What is up, everyone? It's your boy, Sharp Teeth Girl! So today, after watching the wonderful Notte channel on the new half anniversary update, I was motivated to sharpen my own teeth with a nail file because of how sharp her teeth was. And joining with me today will be my buddy, Spitting Shark! Say hello to the people. Okay, alright. So today we're going to be talking about the half anniversary. We're going to analyze the whole update and everything about it. But most importantly, the Feng collab. So Dragalia Lost is now going to collab with Fire Emblem Heroes. That's actually pretty interesting. Who do you think is going to be in there? I'm going to bet Lucina. Probably Lucina. No.
That's a good choice.
100%.
Camilla.
Bulbasaurus Rex. Yeah, I could see her in, but... yeah, I can see Fate's Awakening, like, just from a mile away. But do you think, like, maybe Marth might have a chance?
No. Someone with large boobs.
Oh, I feel so bad for Marth. But it's true, it's true.
If they gender bend Marth into a giant titty boy or something, maybe, but not as he currently stands.
Oh god, alright, okay. But yeah, I'm guessing it's probably going to be character related. We might get an event. There might be like special event items that comes, like, oh, I don't know. They might like give us arena medals or something. Collect arena medals to get like these rewards or something like that. You know how like we normally have like events? Oh god, my teeth are so sharp. Yeah, like that. Like how we normally have like our
how about those crystals to level up your characters, even though we already have a really silly leveling up system?
You know how like we have those structure events or facility events? So I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna have to gather like arena medals to build a statue of Faye, which gives I don't know, probably light, probably something for light again, like plus attack and defense for light again, as usual, because you know side games like light. But I think we spent too much time on Faye. I think unless you got anything else you want to add, let's move on to the next topic. Otherwise, I'll get carried away with this again.
No, that's about it. It's going to be a popular character, probably with boobs. And then, you know, we'll see how they implement it, if it's matching their character, weapon style, that kind of thing. There's very little info we have, so yeah, that's all.
Well, I mean, it could be like Alphonse, Sharina, or Anna. It's possible.
No, it's not going to be Alphonse.
Oh, come on, Alphonse is... okay, alright, yeah. After seeing the story, yeah. He spends half of it crying like, Dad, please! It's not my fault! I'm so sorry! Alright, okay, alright, yeah. Enough about that. So, beyond the Faye thing, we also have this Twitter campaign where you go on their Twitter site to retweet things, and then everybody gets a reward. However, you... if you were one of those people doing it, could also be one of those lucky winners who end up getting a dragon of your choice, or all the 5-star dragons that are currently out. And I saw Marishiten as part of that, so even limited might be part of this nonsense, which is pretty scary. Pretty scary stuff. I feel like it's all the previous ones.
If you like social media and you're active on it, that's awesome. You can do this. Get a chance to win your the dragon. If you're like me and some others who don't like social media, then you don't have to participate, and then you can just reap the free rewards of the entire thing succeeding and get the Eldwater and other things. And it's just kind of pure upside. I don't love social media, but I'm gonna gain free stuff for doing nothing, so I really can't complain.
Oh, sorry, I was just admiring how sharp my teeth is. But, yeah. But, yeah, I mean, that Twitter thing is kind of cool. But you know what's more cool? That stupid, guaranteed, choose your summon ticket. It's called Dream Summon or something. That thing is cool. Now, I hope that limited characters gets included in it. Who would you summon if you do have, like, a free choice of anything?
if I get to pick limited, I would pick Marashiten because I had issues and things in the past where I wanted Marashiten and I didn't summon because I wanted Dragalia, and then the Dragalia turned out to be like a scam the first time around. So yeah, that was pretty unfortunate. But that's who I would pick, and I would just use my stones. But if it's not limited, like including limited units, and you can only get units in the permanent pool, that's not that bad to me. If they rerun, if they do actually rerun the limited banners at some point and they're like not gone permanently, that's okay. I will take Cupid. Cupid is great too. I might even consider the Dark Dragon that was just on banner because apparently that shield that absorbs is not limited to one time and actually triggers multiple times. So I would like do some theory crafting and seeing if that's worth it and pick between Cupid or that dragon because I don't have Dark Dragon either. So.
Oh, sorry, I'm admiring my teeth again. But you know what? I'm gonna grow up so that I don't do this too much. I'm gonna grow up and be mature and not stare at my teeth the whole time. So let me go and talk to you about Nyarlathotep. What you say is Nyarlathotep.
Yeah,
what you say is true. What you say is indeed true. That horrible thing does have its shield constantly regenerate, and it's not limited to one use. Now, I do have video evidence of this, and I was planning on making a topic on this. I kind of got sidetracked. There was a lot of things I'm busy with. And no, I don't even have time to play Langrisser. Langrisser is not taking my time. It's only like an hour or two at best. But later, I intend to make a video talking about the banners that I haven't really talked about, like Albert's banner. Albert is cool, or Cliff, and I find that this previous Dark banner to be pretty decent as well, although I kind of have some mixed feelings on it, especially on the dragon. So I guess we could carry on about the dragon later. Oh, we'll talk about that.
Yeah, I was just saying I might consider picking it. I'd do some thinking. Cupid is an easy pick for me though, having not had. I got not Prometheus. What's the Gilgamesh? I did pull a Gilgamesh, so I have something. But Cupid is great. So buy a free pick. I'll take a free.
I don't know. I mean, if you're planning on pulling hard for Gala later, wouldn't you more rather first at least? I mean, unlimited stuff is kind of like to me now at this point. That's the reason why I didn't even summon on the previous banners because, well, what if I just accidentally pulled them?
No, it's a fair point. I only did a single 10x and got the Dark Axe.
Ah, lucky bastard! But
I'm still riding off my luck high from my absolute dismal failure on Chocolatier.
All right, fair enough. I mean, how many times did you? God, can you imagine using the 5-star summon on a Wyrmprint of all things? You probably wouldn't you?
For Chocolatiers, now look at the stuff you can do. It changes the game having Chocolatiers. Other than that, though, no, I don't want to summon for Worm.
Yeah, I just can't help but admire how normal I look if I don't have sharp teeth and no bat wings. I look like a pretty normal person. I can't help but admire this. But I think I like my wings. It's just so hypnotizing, dude. Just watching it just go flap.
How about my spinning?
You spin all day. There's no way I could stop you from spinning. You'll probably spin for 40 minutes or more. All right. So now that we've gone through the various summoning and Twitter topics and other stuff like that, why don't we go and talk about the update proper? Like, let's start with Ranzal, for example, because that's what we're getting first thing. And it's a pretty big topic, because Ranzal's gotten pretty beefed up for his Gala summoning this time. I still don't know what's the proper pronunciation. They say it's Gala now, so I guess I have to call it Gala. But I still kind of feel like I want to call it Gala. Anyway, so
Gala, whatever.
Yeah, Iran, Iraq, what's the hell's the difference, right? So,
yeah.
Ranzal has been appointed a commander in the new Iberian army. He wears armor made by his friends. He fights for his friends. And he traded the axe of his mercenary days for a sword. That does sound a lot like Ike, really. Anyway, so now he has the dignity and presence of a leader. It's really cool. What is he? He came from the future or something? Yeah, that's the kind of vibe that I got from him. Did he, like, literally just come from the future? But, so he has this cool ability where he gets these 2 gauges. And when he gets these things filled up, he does extra damage. If he were to use a skill, or if he just keeps it around, he gets extra defense from this. Now, we don't know the exact number of the defense, but this could honestly be very, very interesting. This Ranzal is a lot more tactical, because you might want to hold on to your skills instead of doing extra DPS. You might just want to hold on to it so you can take a specific hit. Now, to compensate for this, he has the second skill called Wind Tactics, which allows him to increase his force strike powers by letting him shoot out these crazy ass waves. He just shoots out like 5 sonic boom, and then his entire team also gets like defense for 10%. That's not a small amount. That's pretty amazing. I think that he's going to be probably very, very often seen in High Mercury. That's coming in like the 17th. So he's definitely a top pick with all these offensive options and all these defensive options. He's definitely going to be amazing. Now, the experience boon gives him those 2 gauges, so that already takes up one of his skill slots. Not that it matters, because he has resistance to both freeze and bog. That's a typical thing for Gala from now on, so that's the whole reason why I've been kind of holding off on summoning on unlimited things like Albert or dark guys like Heinwald, because of this. Gala banners is just so much more valuable, because you get a much more powerful character. Which, honestly, I don't really like the system, because it makes me not want to summon, first of all. And 2, it's like power creep, but not quite power creep. It's like this, you just have like straight up better characters that isn't around all the time. But then again, I mean, they're not exactly like good at everything either. Yeah, I mean, Ranzal can do extra damage. He has skill damage plus 30%. He's gonna hit hard. The dude is ripped. He's got all kinds of nice things. But he doesn't provide other effects too. I mean, like, you know, bleed, for instance, or some other cooler effects. I can't think of them at the moment, but like Lowen, for example, he can just make the team pretty much survive anything. A nuclear apocalypse, no problem. I'm just gonna be like, winds, heal us, and then everything is okay again. So, with that being said, we should probably move on to the next topic. I might make a different video, a new video for Ranzal later and the Gala banner. I think it might make more sense to do that. We could see like what else is featured in the banner. Like, we need to figure out if Cerise is going to come back together with Ranzal or not. That's very important. And we also need to know the rate behind them. Because one of the main problem that, I mean, it's not, I guess it's not a problem. It's just one of the things that with the Dark Banner that we had earlier is that people were touting about how we get more 5-star adventure. That's great. It's, you know, it's just shared between like different characters. That's not so bad. But what is really bad was the banner that followed afterwards, the Water Banner. You see those 5-star characters? What were their rates? 0.33 shared between all of them. It was pretty bad. So I don't like this. I hope that the new Gala units will not have their rates reduced like this, because otherwise, if you miss Cerise the first time, now you're gonna have a reduced rate to get her, or she'll pity break you on your way to get someone else in that way. I don't know. It's just, we have to see how Gala works. Maybe it's like a rotation of different characters, like a legendary banner, or it, I don't know. We'll have to see. I can't just speculate right now too much, because, you know, you just don't know. So, alright. So now we've gone through this. Why don't we go and...
I just want to add, look at Ranzal's right arm when you get a chance. It's...
Yeah, he's a monster, dude. What the hell happened to him? Did he like? He definitely took steroids. Took steroids somewhere along down the line, and then Udin's all like, you know what? I think you're commander material. You're commander material. Look at that arm, it's so jacked. He's like he's
And then compare that to the beefy boy who I used to live through things, beefy baby boy.
I was going to talk about, the Charger from Left 4 Dead 2 with the huge ass arm, huge ass right arm and a tiny ass left arm. But yeah, that works too. you play Left 4 Dead 2, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's that kind of what I was thinking. My right arm is a lot stronger than my left arm. You know what I mean. But anyway, so there's that. Why don't we go and move on to that though? Now that we finish talking about Ranzal and arm. So the 1.6 update. The first thing that we have on the topic is that we get to change game speed. This was mentioned in like a previous What's Ahead of Dragalia Lost topic before in one of the pages. So this now allows us to auto battles much faster. So one of the things that we've seen in Langresser and stuff like that is that there are some battles that you kind of have to mandatorily play. You can't use skip tickets for it. Like how IO Imperial Onslaught, you can't just use a skip ticket on the master level. So to make things a little smoother, instead of giving us this Goddess Blessing, which gives us like this amazing buffs of like 30% to all stats and like get healed every time you get hit, you now get an increased speed, which is, honestly, I think it's a fair enough trade. 2 times speed is pretty nice, as long as you're autoing. I don't know if you could do it well if you're actually controlling the fight itself. You'll probably end up like missing. You'll probably end up getting hit by everything and missing all the attacks that you throw at the enemies instead. But otherwise, though, if you're autoing, this is perfect. This is just the kind of stuff I've been waiting for, because we all auto master IO at this point. So this is something that we'll really, really need, especially since this event comes with bonus stamina. Well, rotation anyway. Eventually, in like mid-April, I think, we're gonna get Master IO, where we could just get extra mats, right? We get extra mats and double stamina regen. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So that would be a good time to use that. However, I really hate stamina regen 2 times. I much rather half cost, and they know it too. I would have blew my honey load right there, if possible. But nope, they have to give us 2 times stamina recovery. I don't like 2 times stamina recovery. It screws up my sleep like none other. I hate that so much. And with the extra materials, because, I'm running out of coins. I'm being gatekept by coins. Silver coins, gold coins. I don't have enough. I would have had level 30 all my dojos by now if it wasn't for the coins. I don't know if it's the same thing for you, Bert, or Spinning Shark, but yeah. I don't have enough coins.
I have no coins.
No coins.
Basically none.
Coins.
Also, my honey load is absolutely zero.
Oh, you blew your honey load already? On what?
Preparing Baby Boy Lowen.
Ooh, alright. We should talk
effort I had
about
to
Baby
run
Boy
to get
Lowen
that.
then. We should talk about sizes and everything. Very.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
It is not everything. And I had to run so much voids effort.
In fact,
to get him
yeah,
ready.
two-
So
two-
my
two-
honey
two-
load is. My balls are super empty.
Okay, alright. Well, we're gonna have to go and talk about Lowen then by talking about the dual Wyrmprints. I'll leave that whole topic to you. Just let me know whenever you're done. In fact, I'm even gonna decrease my size and show off my sharp teeth this whole time, because size isn't everything! So, go ahead, tell me more about 2 Wyrmprints. Dual Wyrmprints. What are they? What do they do? And blah blah blah. Who's your daddy and what do you do? Go ahead.
It's both a very simple and very complicated topic. Simple explanation is this. You get 2 Wyrmprints. The one you had, and another one. Seems pretty simple. However, there's a lot that can be done with 2 Wyrmprints. So, they can stack abilities up to a certain percentage. Now, you can't go crazy. There's a limit on skill haste and on crit and other things, and it actually says it in percentages in brackets. So if you happen to have a combination that will like go over its cap, you might want to change your strategy. But you can see that. It will tell you in the game, so you're not going to be surprised by it. But the number of things you can do with 2 Wyrmprints is very high, especially now that they released a limited Wyrmprint called Chocolatiers, which we've talked about before, is very broken. Hopefully many of you got it and didn't have to spend what I did, but you can do many things when you have skill prep. So when you have 2 Wyrmprint slots, let's say you want to run High Dragon. Okay, you've got your High Dragon, let's say you have your HMS one, Glorious Tempest I think it's called. You can run anything else as your second Wyrmprint. Maybe you want Skill Haste, maybe you want Crit, maybe you want Strength based on HP if you're a character that has a higher threshold. Anything. Or maybe you're a healer and you want Give Me a Wounded. You want Defense. Okay. Or maybe you're a skill prep character that doesn't have 100%. Like Lowen was until he got his staff. Before he just got his recent staff from the change, he wanted the free Wyrmprint that gave him 25% skill prep in the Wyrmprint slot. So it was supposed to be you have the high Mercury print that's coming plus the 25% skill prep Wyrmprint to give him 100%, and he would use maybe a defense staff, or at that point you could just use the 4-star staff. Now he doesn't need to do that, but the point is, when you have 2 Wyrmprints, it just increases your flexibility in your build. You can do many different things, especially when you can run skill prep to use all of the different cool skills in the game that are here. So, I have already experimented a little bit on some of the High Dragons. I've had my Lowen live through HMS by himself with like 1300 HP left. He came close to living through High Brunhilde, not quite there. I don't have the 15% defense co-op ability, but he still wouldn't make it anyway. It was close though. I'm sure I'm going to finish maxing my Chocolatiers soon, but I'm sure Thaniel can probably live through HMS with the proper setup. Any of your 3-star characters that you had that don't have 100% of your res that you want to run, maybe it's a Rodrigo, or you can, what's that guy Joe? The archer guy, Zeus. You could name many 3-star characters that you just couldn't run before. Now you can patch them up. We don't have all the resistance Wyrmprints yet.
It wasn't so bad. 75% is still sort of reliable.
For skill prep?
Well, skill prep. Okay, that's different. Yeah, skill prep's
for resistance.
Resistance, yeah. It wasn't so bad. You could still kind of use them. I mean, they did a high Brunhilde with what's his name again? Scaredy Acolyte guy.
Oh, the Ricard.
Ricard, there we go.
Yeah.
Lucius. Oh my god, dude. It's like, yeah! Every time I pass by him, he's like,
he
yeah!
had a passive though. Didn't he have a defense passive built in that made him tank?
That's true, but it's full HP, so only that one hit. After that, he's
But for like, let's say someone that had 75% burn, just theory crafting. I'm not thinking of a character. You can now run the High Brunhilde Wyrmprint plus a 25% burn resistance Wyrmprint. Get them to 100% plus that. If you've already unbound them to, you've made them 5-star, you've made them 50 mana circle, you can start to run all of these characters that were 3-star, whatever, or even 4-star or something. The 2 Wyrmprint change lets you run more characters in more scenarios. I don't know if this is going to hold true moving forward in Mercury. I don't, and I'm skeptical because I think in order to keep things difficult, the bar for Mercury is going to be high. But for what the current content that we have, this change is good. It helps you run, I'm not going to say every single character, but many, many more characters that were, just why do I want to use them? It's too much work, or even not usable, can now be used. So this change is is just very good.
Although I want to say one thing, I feel like it cheapens my experience because I wanted to go and get myself Althemia to do High Jupiter. Now I do not have that chance ever because this update came before High Jupiter, so now it's kind of like I don't know. I don't want to be like, oh, now it's expected that any character can clear. Maybe they'll make High Mercury so much harder that you have to still use a specific type to get in, or they might just hold our hands with this and so that, you know, they're very easily. In fact, I don't even remember who the first people who did Hybrid Hill and anyway. I don't even know who they are. I just know that they were first, and that was it. Nobody even actually care about that, huh?
My suspicion is it's going to be hard. When H Brune came out, it was cleared by a very specific set of comp.
The one that we're still using right now.
I think maybe there was one that had like 2 Xandries or something, but there were a bunch of mandatory characters, especially Daniel. And then since then, you've had clears with that Ricard boy, and you've had Hildegard, you've had Cleos, what's the Karinas. People experiment and find other things, and I think that will eventually become true for Mercury, but I'm guessing that it's gonna not power creep, like the stat inflation we got from the Wyrmprint change is gonna be high enough that they're gonna have to raise the bar such that the initial comp for Mercury is gonna need to have like Alolan is gonna be the healer, you know, baby boy, and then probably some X character, whether that's the Ranzal, which we can talk about. They did show in the picture for this. They showed Ranzal in the picture, so I think Ranzal will be viable.
Oh yeah, regular Ranzal.
Ranzal or you know, the Axe waifu Lin Yu, the recent character, and then you've got a bunch of DPS options. You got Musashi, you've got Big Dong Luis, you've got the new Ranzal, who has a gigantic right arm. Maybe even Kuhai could even work because he can run the sword that has the defense buff on it.
Cool guy. He was the only guy with the grass sword. Now, already, Gala Ranzal appeared and took the sole title.
Oh yeah, he did.
Oh, he's still
with
cool.
a gigantic arm.
Yeah. Oh, he's still cool. Flying around all over the place is still cool. Yeah.
He was still fun. I still like him.
So Musashi is gonna make a comeback with this one. Musashi is actually a very good character. I mean, he's not like the best, obviously. Really strong for a 4-star. So Musashi is gonna make a comeback. But Lowen is most certainly 100% going to be the star, and I am envious of those who have him, like yourself.
Whose mine is 100% maxed. Well, except for the what you call it, the wind HMS statue thing. Mine that's not maxed.
Right. Yeah. It's okay, not a big deal.
Yeah,
we'll take care of that.
Fafnir thing.
Fafnir thing. Yes, no problem. We'll just HMS currently as it is, it's already been easy. Now with 2 Wyrmprints, you can most likely pug and you will most likely clear. It is going to be so easy now that your stats have given another jump. More people will survive the initial blast, and when you make a mistake, you're more likely to survive, because if you don't survive, stack some stun resistance from the other Wyrmprint. You're okay then, no problem. That 2 Wyrmprint thing changes everything. The whole game has been changed because of this.
It's a huge change. It reminds me of when Fire Emblem Heroes had
skill inheritance?
Yes. It is on that level of change in how the game operates. I do want to mention, I did try to run a couple HMSs recently, like tonight, just because I wanted to check how things would work. And this was a very small sample size, so I'm not trying to claim this is going to be, prevalent, but I was running into people who had, the scores looked about what I was expecting, but considering you have an extra Wyrmprint, they were low. So you're talking people that would have been sub 5k that are now 5k because they slapped an extra Wyrmprint on them. and there were people that were just not qualified to be in HMS, were just slapping things on and running it. It was bad. Like Udins that were 4700s that somehow topped into the 5K range and were running. And you look at it, you say, okay, 5K Uden, all right, that's obviously for us, a 5K Uden's not impressive, but if I'm pugging, I'm not gonna like say no to that, but that's not what it was. It was like a 4700 Uden that's just slapped an extra Wyrmprint on.
Yeah. Well, then that's why we have this room condition for co-op play that we're getting.
Exactly. Now, I haven't had a chance to explore it and like how long the timer is. You have to wait, or I'm sure the conditions that you can put in, like we looked at those, you can put in might requirements and other things, and that's fine, but like we don't know if, like, let's say I put in something specific, how do I have to wait 30 minutes for someone to show up for this thing, or is it going to be faster? I don't know how pragmatic it's going to be, but it's certainly the ability. It's an additional feature. So like if you want to run only with more experienced players and you're willing to wait for 20 minutes for people to show up just to get your one clear in one run versus spending 20 minutes failing with a bunch of crappy Uden pugs that were really 4,700 that somehow made it to 5K now and then finally get your run, it's up to you.
Yeah, I mean, the conditions are not like super like specific. They're like just, which element do you want to have? What weapon type? So you can exclude Uden if you really want to, but then you would end up as a result. But I suppose you could slowly build up your room like that. Just exclude people for now, and then change. Actually, can you change the option? Let me. Can you change your conditions once you create them? Check on this.
Not sure on that.
Conditions, yeah, you can change it again afterwards. So there you go. You can change your conditions again after you create the room, so you can use it to selectively pick out people you want to have in your room. It's going to take a little bit of time, but I did just do a room and people joined right away, so your mileage may vary. And I think that, with room conditions, I feel like people are just gonna kind of be like lazy. See, I feel like after a certain point of time, people just want to go to find rooms, get a job, and then get done, and that's it. The ones who create the room are the ones who bother with all this nonsense, and unless you specifically have to do it in that way, it's really something that's not going to be used. I feel like it's something that's just for exclusive use. Though it's a good option. I do like having an option like this. This is good. So,
It may be good for new content. For, like, let's say you're running HMerc and you want, like, only someone with 5.5k plus might or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Or in the case of, like, I want to run Rainbow HMS and I need
I think you should find a Discord for that one.
Might.
I think you should find a Discord for that one. Not
Yeah.
But yeah, the room condition is pretty nice. And what about this trade for missing materials on the spot? Like, what do you think this is going to be like? Yeah, like, is it going to be like how in Langresser, where we, we find that, we don't have enough materials while we're leveling up our characters, so we get to get sent on the screen where we can do some sweeping, or in this case, it's kind of like using skip tickets, and then you get all your mats, and then you can go quickly return to your character screen and fill out those materials. Do you think it'll be like that, or do you think it'll just be like a side prompt or something like that if we don't have enough materials for a certain task?
I think it'll be like the former.
The former?
It's hard to say exactly, but I think given the treasure trade that we have, which is pretty good to be honest, the treasure trade that they implemented, and especially when they added in the Imperial Onslaught trade, which they said we're going to do it in the future, and then like a month later they're like, here it is. But the treasure trade is pretty good. So to trade for missing materials on the spot, I think it's going to be in scenarios where you're trying to level something up or something and you need something, and it's like, okay, well, you can immediately make this trade to make this level, and let's just do it without having to go into the treasure trade menu. You can just do it instantly right there. So it would be nice to not have to do that. I've had scenarios where I was trying to level up in the mana circle, and it was like, okay, I need one more gold dragon with the fire dragon item, and it's like, okay, well, now I have to go into treasure trade. I have to go trade 5 or whatever my silver ones to get the gold one, and then go back and level it up. And if it just gives you the option of, oh, you're missing one, do you want to trade 5 silver ones for this gold one and level it up right away? Well, yeah, that would be nice. I don't have to make all those changes now.
Alright, so now, what else is there to talk about? There's new void enemies, but we don't have any details on that, so we can just skip that. And I guess...
They gave us one enemy. It was, find it quickly. Yeah, it was, the new... what was the dragon? It was Void Agni is who we're getting.
Oh, right. I saw the picture. Never mind, you're right. Void Agni. Right.
And he had badass wing blades. They were like, his wings were like swords.
Hopefully he'll be stronger than the regular Agni. One of the main problem with regular Agni is that his blades take 10 years to come out. You're gonna end up missing with it. That's the main problem.
The only point I want to make on these are that, and this is a point on void battles in general. I feel like the difficulty, like in having to make those weapons to resist the dull, it's not satisfying because you have to make them. Like, let's say I want to fight Zephyr. Okay, I need to make these dull resist weapons. Okay, great, I made them. And for me, I even auto battle it. I have my Hild as my lead, and I auto battle with 3 DPS with void. But I don't use those weapons ever again outside that fight. The weapons are crap besides that. If they make the void enemies and the harder in a more a more interesting way, like I don't need to make some dumb, stupid weapon like a dull thing.
I mean, there were one thing did come out of it.
Like make it. Yeah, I mean, and then, or at least if you're gonna make those dull weapons, like I have to make those more usable outside of this mode.
Yeah.
Don't make absolute garbage. Like, I'm never going to use those weapons again outside of that fight.
I call them rental weapons. That's what they are. They're like rental weapons. They're there for a specific purpose that you need to use. Dump it or return it, so to say. But there are some good things that came out of it, like that Rise and Fall for Lowen. Now, instead of having to use Chocolators, you get to use 2 Wyrmprints. So there's some good.
More of that. If they could take what they made for the Wind Staff, and let's say you just add some random. Oh, that Wind Staff has dull resist on it, so that it works for the Void whatever battle you need it for. But then it also is like Lowen's best possible weapon for all other content. Now we're talking, because now you're saying to people, okay, yeah, you're gonna have to create these new weapons in this new mode. You're gonna have to play it a lot, but the payoff is you get this weapon that works for it, and you're going to use in other content. Whereas for every other character, pretty much, other than him, maybe Juliet with the light axe skill prep. Although if you MEB Chocolatiers, doesn't matter. But if you don't, you just want other weapons that cost the sands. Those are the better weapons. Pretty much for maybe there's a couple of the high Midgard damage ones. Maybe they're better, I don't even know. But it's for the most part, I think Lowen is the only character who has, like, without question, better weapon from Void content than is craftable from other sources.
Well, Lowen's thing actually has a second ability, though it's not like resist all or anything like that. But I think it was a skill haste or something like that. So
it's extra healing. It's an unbelievable weapon for him.
Yeah. So there you go. So what I was actually suggesting, that maybe I can get a little bit greedier and say that, perhaps void weapons, okay? They have the ability to have this hidden ability that only activates during a void battle, which, say, to resist dull or something like that, and still maintain its effects outside a void battle. So it has 2 abilities. It gains a secret 3rd ability when you go to the void battle, so you can use it to resist dull or something like that. Because dull does not have any place outside of void battle at the moment. They could change in the future, but currently void battle is the only one that uses it, so their usage is kind of limited. But if you were to do it like this, then you have a weapon that's good for everywhere. Then that makes them a little more attractive to build. Because right now I clear a lot of void battles without these weapons. Like, you saw my Lucretia fight. I just used my Lucretia. I used my stupid tier 2 5-star. That stupid wing staff, wing wand thing. And that because I have to share it between all my mages. So I just kind of use that, blast him a couple of times, dodge a couple of the golems' roll. His attacks are very telegraphed, so you can see what he does, and then you don't have to worry about dull. Everything is okay again. So
Yeah, I completely agree. They should make them have that like extra, almost in the way that the welfare or not servants, god damn it,
Servants.
welfare units will have some like this bane, and they do extra damage, and that ability, that's great, but then they have other things like make them have
like a secret ability that only activates.
Make them have dull res or dull whatever, or what's it called, engage inhibitor, or the thing that like stops the Zephyr from inhibiting your dragon gauge. I think one of the bows has that or something. Put that on a weapon, and then in addition, other abilities that are great, so that when you make it, it's like, okay, now I'm making it, and it's great in HMS and other fights, but then when I want to take it to Void Zephyr, it also has this extra ability that's strong.
Oh, yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. But we can talk about that later. So the final topic, which we've already gone through, is the High Mercury. I've been planning on this one for a while. Honestly, that should have been our second dragon. Well, should have, could have. It was kind of still speculative. If it was the second one, I would have been a little more prepared, because that was what I was preparing for. High Brunhilde caught me with my pants. So I didn't quite exactly get it done within the first week. So it's a little unfortunate, but maybe this time with High Mercury, things will be different. But High Mercury, like I said earlier, I feel like with the double Wyrmprints, did they actually hone the fight enough? Or will it just be something that's quickly finished off with, and then we just kind of be like, oh, okay, guys, finished first one. Fight isn't even all that hard.
I think it's going to be hard.
Think it's going to be hard?
Yep, I do. I think it's going to be...
So you think that
as
extra time that they
specific when it launches as H-Brune was. I think if you don't have a low-in on launch, you're screwed. I do think that for DPS options, you'll have some flexibility. You've got a lot of good wind options, Musashi. And look, my assumption is that the ones that were in their picture, which is included the free Ranzal. So don't hold me. I'm not promising this, but free to play is keep a lookout. And I think that the OG Axe Ranzal, because I think Axe co-op will be good, he may very well be viable for this. So
he does use he does have what is called Wind Wall, which is basically a shield, which could you can use it to evade certain mechanics. It would be.
Yeah, I think he will be good. The obviously the super jacked new Ranzal is going to be good. Musashi's going to be good. I think that Big Dong Luis is also going to be good, because I think that the skill haste is going to be very beneficial for her baby boy to get his heal charged up faster. Obviously, you've got the Axe waifu, who's going to be good. She's going to be great. And then other characters, maybe Kuhai can work. There probably are some other Bog Res ones that I'm forgetting that are lower star that you can get there with some Wyrmprints. I think they even gave us isn't there a 50% one now that they gave us, I think, in one of the prior events. So there's probably someone else that you can run. But I think the options for DPS will be there. But I think for healer, I think it's going to be that baby boy Lowen. I think he's going to be
who else is there? Who else is there? Like Sophia with her angry gale? Yeah, okay, pal. Yeah, she's one of those horrible hybrid healers that was built in Antiquity when the game was kind of new, and they just kind of they wanted a hybrid option, but they didn't do it. Now, I guess Heinwald would be a good step forward, but you know what? I'll save that for the next time I talk. I'll actually make a topic about the banners that I haven't done thanks to game. That's something we can do next time. So the DPS option, as you say, is going to be healers. It's only going to be low end. There's no one else. Are you going to use? I guess you could use Harudagarn if you actually defends to go through it. I mean, 2 Wyrmprints, it's possible, but it could be that they tune the fight so hard because they have to calculate for dual Wyrmprints. They would. There's no way they would. because otherwise the fight will be so simple that there's like no.
There's a chance. So now to change, Hildegarn or Hildegarn can live on her own with a specific setup. So there's a chance with the perfect setup that she could work.
All right, look. You showed me this stupid screenshot where stupid Lowen has like 4,600 HP, and he took 5,000 something from High Brunhilde. Now that's crazy because Lowen is a grass type Pokemon, and High Brunhilde is a fire type Pokemon. So he's actually like barely dying to that thing. That's absolutely insane. So you can imagine like later on with other fights, Lowen could survive like these horrible nuclear blasts like as if he's a cockroach. As long as it's not High Brunhilde. Maybe later, eventually, he might even be able to resist High Brunhilde if there's a Wyrmprint that, you know, resists fire, that grass types could beware as well. Which, I mean, this is crazy. I still can't get over that. The High Brunhilde is still a, well, I mean, now maybe not as exclusive, but it was one of the most exclusive fights in the game. And here I'm looking at Lowen, like, kind of taking 5,000 out of 4,600. He can reach some really high HP. So, I mean, I guess you can't exactly rule out that other healers would possibly either. As long as, you know, they're not fire. Which is a little unfortunate because I would have loved to use Valentine's Hildegarn in there with her nice and debilitating beam. That thing is so useful. I don't see enough people use them. I should make a video about this because that skill is so useful. I gotta stop being so busy. You know what? I'm gonna take some more time this week to make more videos about this because I feel like I need to. I'm really behind when Dragalia lost stuff. Proper pronunciation is out. I can't get used to it. I have to practice. But anyway, do you think there's anything else we should add about in returns to Mercury?
I think that's about it. I would just say that the free-to-plays monitor. I think your free Ranzal is going to be legit. So don't panic. He was included in the picture, so I would be very, very upset if they included like here's High Mercury. He was bog res, and they put Musashi and Ranzal on there, and then they don't work at all if they did that. So I'm not gonna say go ahead and make him 5-star and 50 circle him and all that right now, but watch. I think that Ranzal will work. So don't panic, and you've got an option. So that's pretty good, considering I don't really think there was much of the same for Brunhilde, so yeah. This one will be easier.
I mean, there's a lot of hand-holding that's been going on lately with the game. Like, the High Midgard Prelude, for example, was really easy. It teaches you the fight and everything like that. We can expect the High Brunhilde Prelude, maybe even Mercury Prelude coming very, very soon. So, with regards to that, I feel like they might have made the game a little extra easier, but that's not a problem to me because, you know what, I play this game to enjoy it. Would you stand to use a little more difficulty, but we can enjoy it in other ways. But I think they'll tune it just enough. At least I hope they will. So far, the game has not really disappointed me with that. High Brunhilde was tough at first, but once you get used to the fight, it was actually pretty pleasurable. It's a good fight. Yeah, you make one mistake, you die a very, very painful death, but that's part of the joy in doing this. I hope that they still kind of keep that tradition, but make it more accessible. So as you say, if Ranzal as a free-to-play can get in, that would please me deeply. I mean, it might be in a situation where, like with Verica, where you can't get a group because there's just too many of them. But at least it's an option. I still manage to flourish in High Midgard, despite the fact that, there's a million Vericas. You just make some friends, get a group of them, and then everything is fine. If you can't make friends, then make a conditional room and get people that, would join up with you. This conditional thing is really, really, really... I hope that eventually free-to-play and will still be able to clear these fights. and while we still be able to enjoy a decent challenge on the upper levels. That's the most important thing about this game, and I think that side games have been doing it so far. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this fight. I'm hoping that the Fire Emblem Heroes collab would work out as well. Honestly, I hope it's not just some characters in an event, but it probably would just be like a couple characters in that. But, well, we'll see, I guess, when the time comes. Anyway, do you have anything else you want to add?
Camilla.
Huh?
7th Camilla, but in Dragalia.
Bulbasaurus Rex gonna crush you with a massive tits. Oh, yeah. Well, could very well happen, yeah. Oh, well, anything else you want to add? And we'll just carry on to the next video next time, like tomorrow or something like that. Banners that I haven't.
That's about it for me.
Yep, alright then. I thank you all for watching. Until next time. Sharp teeth.